Hey guys, so it's been 2 months, just over 2 months since I posted my last lunatherapy, and I really wanted to update you guys on my anxiety, my work anxiety that I mentioned in episode 3. Before I do that, I have to apologize if you can hear the fan that's on, the aircon that's on, because it's very, very hot in Tokyo right now, and I honestly can't do this without the aircon on. So yeah, a lot has changed since the 3rd episode in terms of my work anxiety. Like, a lot has changed, and one of the things that I've really learned, this is going to combine like me talking about work with my experience with the 3rd year of my Saturn return. It's coming to the end, honestly, like almost. I think it's ending on around the 7th of March, so only like half a year to go, so like 6 months to go. So I'm very excited for that. So what I want to talk about is how much I've stopped caring about, you know, what other people think and like, you know, what I should do or shouldn't do. Like I mentioned in the 3rd episode of lunatherapy, how I felt very crippled because I felt a lot of anxiety with like what I need to be doing or what I don't need to be doing at work. And yeah, it just felt like I had to be a certain way or do things a certain way. And after having been at that workplace for 8 months, I've come to realize how much it really doesn't matter like what anybody says. And this university student that I mentioned, who kept he just won't stop bugging me. Like even now, he just likes to bug me for a lack of a better word. I don't know what other way to say this, but like when I'm trying to come up with like the way I want to teach the students, he just has to get in there and give his opinion on what I'm doing is wrong and how I need to be doing it and all of that. But like now I just don't even care anymore. Like, oh, I'm just like, oh really, thanks, or like, oh okay, that's a good idea, and then I just end up doing it the way I want to do it. And yeah, I'm just like caring less. And I think it's really important to do that because, hang on a sec. Okay, I'm back. So I feel like it's really important to do that, to like separate yourself from what other people think or what other people want, especially when you know what you want to do, and you know if what you're doing is like makes sense to you, then like why even bother with like what this other person thinks, you know? And I don't feel happy that like this student keeps bugging me and like needing to like put his 2 cents in and stuff, but like it doesn't matter anymore, you know? I don't care as much. And like also in that other podcast I mentioned how I was only there like once a week or something, 1 day a week. Now I'm currently doing 2 days a week, and I have other sources of income, so that's not the only place that I work at. I also work for a company where I'm doing a few days, and it's actually by hour, so like I'm like it's always different. If a student books a lesson, then that's my work kind of thing. It's not like an every week thing, it's not a regular thing, but I'm really grateful for that as well, because if I was working a full-time job I couldn't do that. And yeah, I'm just a lot more free in terms of like having time, like free time, to be able to do things, other things aside from work. I could never have a hobby if I worked a full-time job. So like I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be able to like have hobbies and like do things besides just working for 10 hours a day kind of thing. So yeah, it just feels different compared to like how I was feeling before, you know, in episode 3 of Loner Therapy, how I felt like I couldn't be myself, or like that I just felt this huge sense of anxiety. I don't feel anxiety that much anymore at that workplace that I mentioned in episode 3. Like I don't feel anxiety, I just feel like annoyance, but it's not so much anxiety, you know. And yeah, I feel really grateful that like I'm learning to not care so much and to kind of branch out from this like shell that I had. Like I was like trying to protect myself, but it's like, well, you don't really need to do that anymore, kind of thing. Like it doesn't matter what other people think, it really doesn't. Thinking about it like logically, like that boy that kept bothering me, and he continues to bother me, but like he's a child, and like it doesn't matter how he thinks or like what he thinks of me, kind of thing. It doesn't make any difference to me, you know. And I'm just like learning that now, and honestly I'm so excited for Saturn return to end, because you know, this whole thing about like me having so much anxiety and then getting out of my shell and branching out and like doing all these new things, it's been fun, but it's also been exhausting because initially I wasn't like that. I'm a hermit, my moon sign being in Virgo, like, and I have, you know, Saturn in my 12th house. I'm not somebody who goes out and like talks to people. I'm good at it because I have so much placement, like I have a lot of placements in Sagittarius in the 9th house, so I'm pretty good at it, but it's not something that I really enjoy, because what I enjoy is like one-on-one interactions or being by myself, like a loner. And so like me being with lots of people at once, it just isn't something I'm comfortable with. I still don't like it, but like I'm trying to not let that stop me from doing things, you know. Oh guys, I have this thing, right? I don't know if I ever mentioned it in any of the loner therapy episodes, but like I was really into yoga for months, like over a year, and I quit recently because I wanted to become like more of a performer, because yoga is very kind of dense, and it's not like a very outward thing, you know. It's more like an inward looking kind of hobby. Like unless you become a yoga teacher, which I'm not too keen on becoming a yoga teacher. Like, so like if I wasn't going to be a yoga teacher, it's not something that like I can use to, for example, entertain people, you know. And I've been really, I feel like it's probably the Jupiter being in my 1st house that's like really bringing out this like need to expand myself, like branch out, like move away from this inward looking hermit self that I was. Like I'm becoming like a new person, and I like really wanted to like perform or like do something for like other people, you know, like entertaining people. And then I came across, through one of the like people I met at yoga, pole dance studio school thing in Tokyo. And yeah, like I'm really grateful that like that's just come into my life, and I'm thinking about starting next month. So yeah, I have like a month to go, so I'm trying to like keep my body still like healthy, like trying to stretch and stuff by myself. But yeah, so I have that as well to look forward to. So a lot is changing in my life, guys. And if you felt any type of sympathy or like empathy towards me because of what I mentioned in episode 3, please don't worry. Like, I feel literally growing and changing so much through this Saturn return, and especially in this 3rd year, you know? And like, this is it. I feel like this is what my Saturn return was all about. Yeah, I'm just so excited for my future, guys. And if you are in a position where like you're in your Saturn return, like maybe next year or in the future, whenever you're listening to this, and you feel like what is my life, like what am I supposed to do with my life, please know that life goes on, and like nothing is stagnant, guys. And yeah, if you feel stuck, like, don't feel like this is all you're gonna be and this is all you're gonna have for the rest of your life, because it's not. Like, everything changes. Energy is constantly moving, and so are you. Like, you're constantly moving and changing. Even if you are a hermit right now, you might not be a hermit in 5 years time, you know? And even if you're not in your Saturn return, like, it doesn't really matter. Like, you're gonna be you today, and you're gonna be a different you tomorrow. Like, you know, you're constantly changing, and that's what it's all about. Like, living on this planet, living on Earth is about change, because we all come here to change and to grow and to learn about ourselves and who we are and what we like and what our strengths and weaknesses are, and you know, all of that. Everybody who's on this planet is here to experience that. So if you ever felt or feel like you're stagnant and you're not changing, you're not moving, you're not improving, don't be so harsh on yourself. List the things you were able to do today that you weren't able to do yesterday, because there's got to be at least one thing. Like, think about it and you'll just know that you are changing all the time, you know? I hope this helps, and I'm totally a different person from what I was like in episode 3. I just listened over it a bit today, and just because I wanted to like see the difference and like where I was in terms of like my mental health. But like, you can really like shift your life, and time is this really beautiful, amazing thing where it can really give you opportunity to change. You don't even need to have a drastic change, but like even just a slight shift in your mindset can make a huge difference. So yeah, I'm sorry that it took a very long time, maybe like 6 months since I posted episode 3, and like I really wanted to talk about my Saturn return and how it's changed. So I'll probably talk about it a bit more in the next episode, which I'm hoping it won't be like 6 months, another 6 months since I talked to you guys like today. So, but yeah, thank you so much for listening and your continued support. Even if you're like listening to this in the future, I'm still so grateful that you came across this channel and that you're listening to this episode, because if it helps one person, then I've done my job, and I'm so happy to do this, you know? Like, if I'm talking about my personal experiences and like the pains and difficulties that I'm going through in life, if me talking about it helps one person, then it really does make it worth it, you know? It actually gives me purpose in life. Like, it makes me want to live. It makes me want to be here on this planet. If my difficulties and yeah, like my sad experiences or difficult experiences or like anything that happened in my life that was like torturous to me helps another person to feel less alone or to feel encouraged in any way, then like it makes everything worth it. Like, everything I've experienced, I'm so grateful for, because it's leading me to be able to use this platform to help somebody, you know. But that's that, and I'll update you guys in the future. I'll probably do another episode on my Saturn return because it ends next year, like March next year, so I still have a bit to go. So I'll probably talk to you guys again about like reflecting on my entire Saturn return around maybe March. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for that. I'll talk to you guys again very, very soon. Love you. Love you all so much. Please take care. Bye. Mwah.